So here's a recent release of the Nike Air Prestos, dubbed as the South Korea, that my girlfriend actually got lucky with and hit on sneakers. A quick history on the Presto is that it was essentially created to be a t-shirt for your foot. And how are t-shirts sized? In a small, medium, large, extra large, etc. So inherently, the sizing on the Air Presto takes on that same idea. Before I even get into this pair themselves, I just wanted to address the confusing or misleading sizing on this pair specifically. What I found interesting was when we were trying to figure out what size to get, because initially I wanted this pair, we rolled with a small, because that's what Nike SNKRS listed as fitting between a men's 9 and 10. And to justify that, I even did a Google search and came across a Sneaker News article that will be linked in the description, as well as a bunch of other resources, and they all follow that same sizing translation. So fast forward a bit, we try for the size small on release day. Obviously I took the L, but my girlfriend was able to score. But then to my surprise, when I hopped back on the Sneakers app after the actual purchase to gather some screenshots for this video, I saw that they had changed the sizing chart. So this small pair went from being a US men's 9 to 10 to now a US men's size 7 through 9, with all sizes below and above being adjusted as well. And as an odd aside from that sizing, I have this pair of the triple white Air Prestos still in my collection with a 2017 production date. And they actually have a shoe size, which is a size 10. I got them on sale from a Nike outlet a few years ago and stashed them away in those plastic boxes. But I did hang on to the box label, and here it is for all of you guys to see. I did a bunch of research, and up until about the year of 2015, they were doing the conventional t-shirt sizing. And then between 2015 until now in 2020, they moved over to this numbered sizing, so you could see these in a 10. But following that, it seems that they reverted back to this confusing, tricky t-shirt sizing. But anyway, the whole point of this is to talk about the sizing again. So what went from a sneaker that I was going to keep in this one turned into a sneaker that she ended up keeping because it fit her women's size 8.5 foot. And it just seemed like she liked the overall silhouette, shape, and concept. And what a great segue into the actual pair of sneakers themselves, because there is a cool inspiration behind these. So throughout the uppers is this black and white zebra print in this t-shirt-like stretchy material. The zebra print is inspired by the South Korean soccer team, or football if you're from outside the US, and their kits, or their uniform. As for the materials on the uppers, it's super lightweight and perfect just in time for these summer months. It's really hard to say the exact quality of materials on here because it is that sort of fabric performance shoe material, but I will say in having those triple white presses back there, they've held up just fine over time. Continuing at the uppers is this mismatched red and blue cage overlays, which hold in place the black round laces. And speaking of the laces, on one lace tip reads instant and happiness, while on the other is 20 years and presto. 2020 is the 20th anniversary of the Nike Air Presto model, which was born in 2000 at the Sydney Summer Olympics. I imagine this South Korea pair was one of many slated releases to go out in tandem with the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, which obviously got pushed back because of COVID. So as I mentioned, on the outside of the shoe is this red, and the inside is a blue, and then at the heel it sort of meets and creates this gradient. At the back heel with the gradient, you could also find the South Korean flag. That's a cool detail to me and just further adds to the nod to South Korea on these. Following the mismatched theme on here are the insoles, with the left one having a 20th logo at the heel and an S for size small at the right. At the BRS 1000 rubber outsoles, the left sneaker utilizes a blue color, while the right has a red one. The Air Presto utilizes Nike's Duralon technology, which Nike says is a compound resembling a foam pad, with the end result being a lightweight, cushy ride. Additional details include the Presto logo piece at the tongue, as well as this sort of transparent plastic toe cap. At the midsole are these 5 red dots, which I'm not entirely sure what the significance is behind that, but they're right next to a gold Nike swoosh, which also complements the gold color at the pull tabs of the back heel. Lastly here is the box, which pays tribute to the OG boxes that they used when released in 2000. These don't utilize the standard red Nike sportswear box that most GRs have been coming out with in the past few years, which I think is fitting because this release is part of a 20th anniversary collection anyway. I talked about sizing earlier, but as far as fit goes, it's sort of hard to describe what size to get for you. If you're between number sizes like me at a 9.5 and a 10, then something like the medium that sits between a 9 and 11 is perfect. However, my girlfriend is between an 8 and an 8.5 in women's, And if you look at the size chart, it's between their extra small and small. If that's the case for you, I'd probably recommend going for the bigger size. So in this case, we went for the small. Obviously that was by chance and not by choice, but in my opinion, it's just better to have more of a loose fit than a tight one, especially if you're only wearing them casually and not for performance. Regardless of size, these have a sock-like booty, so in theory your foot should just lock in there. And having that triple white pair again, I can confirm that these are one of the more comfortable sneakers on the market. So overall, I think this is a great grab for the $130 retail price. Resale on this pair varies based on sizing, but generally they don't go for much more than the box price of $130. So if you really want the sneaker, I would definitely jump on it while you can, because I could steadily see these increase in value over time, just given the overall collector aspect to them. As for wearability, the shoe is pretty loud, so you'd have to wear more neutral tones and solid colors to offset this wild animal looking print. It's not uncommon for animal prints to make their way onto sneakers. We've seen it from a bunch of different brands over the years. It's kind of like the Yeezy 350 Zebras that I've had for a while now. Both these pairs have this wildness to them, so they can be tricky to pull off at times. At the end of the day though, you do you and wear your sneakers however you'd like. So if you're a big Korean soccer fan or just like the overall aesthetic of these trainers, I definitely think these are worth checking out. If these were my size, I'd most certainly keep them. But it all worked out in the end though, and my girlfriend enjoys them, so that's all that really matters. Anyway, that wraps it up for this video. If you like the content, let me know by dropping a like, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram at StuffDylanLikes for some sneak peeks into videos like this one. That's all for now though. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.